Hey, it's Nikki, and I'm back for another review. I'm going to be doing a review of the new BET show, Games People Play, starring Lauren London, Jackie Long, Kendall, and there's more people. So we're going to just start this off. This is season 1, episode 1. It's a really good show. At first, I wasn't going to review it because it's just like, I don't like reviewing the shows that I like, but I was like, this is a good show. I got to talk about this. So let's get into it. We start out with Vanessa and Marcus, but she calls him King. So if you hear me switch between Marcus and King, it's going to happen. They're at the police station and they're listening to a 911 call. And 911 call, you can hear stuff breaking, a guy saying stop, some girl screaming, stuff breaking, somebody getting hit, all of this. The call, like the officer stops the recording and she asks Marcus, so you don't know who broke into your hotel room and started beating you? And he looked at Vanessa, and Vanessa was like, and he was like, nope, I don't know. Then the officer says, is this a domestic violence situation? Marcus looked at Vanessa looked at him, he's like, no. And I was like, oh, this is so good. He a whole abused woman, and he's like, he sound like she be abusing him. I'm sorry. He do. Because it's like, no. He look at her, and she look at him. No. Again, look at her. She look at him, and he say no. So we get in the flashback. He is having sex with some lady that's not his wife in a hotel room. And, Vanessa busts in the room, and she start beating on him. Then the girl falls off the bed and tries to get the phone to call 911. Vanessa, go, stop beating on him. Go to the girl, take the phone out of her hand, start beating the girl in the head with the phone, and just beating her ass all out through the room. And then, boom, they make it out through the door that Vanessa just popped back, like busted into, and she beating her out there. And then there's some girl just standing there watching, but I don't know if that's like an editing mistake or not, because I've watched this twice already. So once Vanessa is finished with the girl, she go back in there and continue to beat on him. So I'm like, damn, that's what you get. Shouldn't be cheating on your wife. Boom. So the officer says, ask Vanessa, where were you during this time? And she says, at home. And the officer was like, can anybody confirm this, that you were at home? And she looks at Marcus, and he was like, she was at home during the time of the beating. I was like, oh, Lord. And then she asked, Vanessa, the officer asked Vanessa, because Vanessa had a scratch on her neck. And she was like, how'd you get that scratch on your neck? She was like, a cat. And the officer repeats, y'all have a cat? And she was like, yeah. And then Vanessa looked at Marcus, and then Marcus looked at Vanessa, and then he looked back into the officer. He was like, yeah, a cat. And Vanessa then asked, can we leave now? And then the officer was like, they got the hotel footage from the last 12 hours. So she hoped that what's on the footage matches up with the story. Because she don't believe what they saying at all. And they look at each other, and he looking like it. She's looking like it better match up, and he looking like it will. And then as they're walking out, because Marcus leaves first, and then Vanessa is leaving after, the officer looks at her arm and was like, you better take care of that arm. And she was like, thank you. And I was like, So then we get to Nia and Eric. They're a cute little couple. Nia is a cute little chocolate drop. At first I thought she just looks so pretty. So if y'all know Marla Negra, when she has like her different hairstyles, for a second when she turned around, I thought that was her, but it wasn't. But I was like, oh, but she's a cute little chocolate drop and everything. And they booed up, and she's getting ready to go somewhere. And as they're as she's finishing getting ready, and he telling her to be careful, and she waiting everything, a preacher comes on the TV spewing hate, using the Lord's name to do so. And I was like, okay, so we got a little bit of this, we got a little bit of that in this show so far. So she's going out to get dirt on him, because he be doing some things, and like, we don't know what he be doing, but we know she going to get dirt on him. So her assistant, which is Kendall, love him, and her go to a sex club to catch the Rev in action. And then as they're going to the door, like as they're trying to go in, they're stopped and they like start wanding them. I call it like frisking, wanding, whatever you want to call it. And he, the guy moves it down south or whatever, and then it starts going off. It's a camera because she's hiding a camera there, but she was like, "Damn, I can wear a tampon." And I was like, "You could have said something completely different, but okay." So she has it, like she's then hit a mini camera in her vagina, so go ahead. They go in and they like looking around. It's like everybody getting freaky and having fun and everything, and then they find the Rev ass out. They find the Rev in an outfit with his ass out. It looked like fishnets and everything. He on all fours with a collar around his neck, and with the collar, somebody has like a leash and they holding it, and he down there barking like a dog. I said, "Ooh, nah, ooh, okay then. What you do in your personal life is your business, except when you preach what you preach, and you doing what you said not to do and what you preaching." I don't know if that makes sense, but it should. So, she tells her sisters, like, dance with me. And as they dance, she taking pick, get all sides of the reverend, and everybody up in that room with him. She has her boyfriend, he's an IT specialist, and she has him encrypt the pictures and then send them to her so they won't be traced back to her. Because the last time she did something like this, she got demoted in her job and then had to move in with him. So the story, she writes the story and everything, and she has the pictures, and the story and the pictures make it to Hollywood Unlocked, and she's just so happy because the story's getting traction, and then her boss texts her, that they need to meet in the morning. So I'm like, okay, like they need to meet first thing in the morning. So she goes to meet with her boss, and then you have Sean Robinson, but she's playing somebody else. That's not her boss. She's there on the kind of like Skyping or whatever, and she's there and she offers Nia a job, and her boss is just like, I taught her everything she knows. I trained her. You need somebody with management skills. And Sean Robinson's character was like, didn't you just say you didn't know anything about this? You had nothing to do with this. And weren't you just about to fire her? And when Nia heard that, she was like, I'll take that job. I was like, girl, you take that job. Because she was about to fire you and everything. So I just thought that was so funny. He was just about to fire her, but then he was trying to, because the lady was like, you need somebody with management skills and everything, and if you hire me, I could just bring her on as one of my workers. She was like, nah, you was just about to fire her, and he took the job. So, what is it? Oh, she takes the job. She tells her boyfriend, and they're celebrating, and her boyfriend's like, okay, I got 3 months left on this lease, and then once those 3 months are up, I'm coming to LA to be with you, boo. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then they're watching as the Reverend is going to rehab for sex addiction. And he's yelling at because the paparazzi surrounding his car and everything. He's like, leave my family alone, leave me alone, you don't know anything. He's just like doing the classic deflection and everything. And then he turns around to the people in the car. He was like, I want you to, when I get out of here, y'all better have found the person who exposed me, because there will be hell to pay. I was like, sir, what's done in the dark will come to the light. And you did some shady things. I'm just saying. He did some shady things. So we're back to Vanessa and Marcus, and we have Kareem, who is Marcus's best friend, and he's played by Jackie Long. So Lauren London plays Vanessa, Jackie Long plays Cream, and boom, it's an ATL reunion. Boo. He comes over and he was like, I got that package for you, Marcus. And Vanessa was like, what package? And then it turns out it's a gun. And she don't want the gun in the house, and he wants the gun because you're not going to be out here unprotected with my baby in the house. And I was just like, ooh, it's a lot. Then we see Katie from My Wife and Kids, but she's playing a character named Lela. And Lela is a struggling actress who can't pay her bills because when we first see her, she and her underwear and little tank, cami, whatever you want to call it, sit in front of a box fan, and then the box fan turn off, and she hot. She ain't got no food. She ain't got no power. She ain't got nothing. When I say nothing, I mean nothing. So she goes to her audition, and she look a mess at first, and she signs in, and they're like, oh, you really supposed to be here and everything, like looking down on her. And she goes to like the little snack table because she ain't got no food, so she steals some snacks or whatever. Then she goes into the bathroom and fix herself up, and she look presentable. And when she come out, they're like, oh, you need to sign in. And she was like, I already signed in under Lela James. And the lady was like, oh, okay. So she go and sit down, and Lori Harvey comes in, and she ain't got to sign in. She take pictures for her followers or fans, whatever you want to call them. And all the girls around start to get up and leave. And she was like, it's because one of the girls was talking to her. She was like, it's still good to show your face. And Lela was like, I've been showing my face. So this white lady says, maybe you need to show more than your face. And she trying to give her another way to make money. And, she was like, I'm not into this pimping thing. And she was like, it's better than stealing. Because the lady asked her, do you want to go to lunch with me? She was like, no, thank you. She was like, it's better than stealing food. She was like, it's not stealing if it's free. I don't think it's stealing if it's free. So she walks away, but then she comes back and get the lady card and she leaves. I was like, okay, that sounds like a prostitution thing. This looks like prostitution, it sounds like prostitution, and it smells like prostitution. It's prostitution, basically. Marcus and Vanessa are at a press conference to welcome him to LA. And Vanessa Simmons has a small little role in this. She plays one of the basketball wives, and she gives Vanessa a little gift, and come to find out later is like a pipe with some weed or whatever that Nia and Vanessa end up smoking later. But I'm gonna get to that. He says he's so happy to be here, he's so grateful, and then he's asked the reason for the move, is it because of the missing girl? And they end up shutting that press conference down. Shut it down. A cop stops by, and they ask, do they need a lawyer? He was like, no, the public says that they never follow up on missing black girls. And then the cop asked Marcus, how long has it been since you've seen the girl? He was like, a few weeks. And then the cop asked Vanessa, how long has it been since you've seen her? And she was like, I don't know her. And then he was like, asked Marcus, how long has it been since you talked to her? He's like, no, have you talked to her? And he was like, no. And then the cop was like, okay, great. I could just mark it down as I talked to both of you. And, can I get a picture? And he ended up snapping multiple pictures. So, like I said, about the pipe and the weed and how Nia and Vanessa end up smoking it later. Turns out they are old friends, and they talk and catch up, and they talk about how Nia's doing, how she got the new job, and how she's living in LA and her relationship. And then you find out that Vanessa wanted to be a high-powered attorney. She was in law school, had 1 year left before she graduated with her law degree, before she could take the bar and everything. And she was just like, my life didn't turn out how I thought it was, because I thought I would be a high-powered attorney. Now I'm just a wife and a mother. But she was like, I always thought I would have a family as well. I just did everything backwards. But now, the baby's grown up a little bit. I want to go back to school and, finish out law school and everything. And I was like, oh, yay. So as they're talking, Marcus calls her and he was like, she asked, hey babe, how was practice? He was like, oh, it's good. I'm gonna go and hang out with some of the guys from the team, just to do like a little get to know you, like a get to know you thing. And he was like, is that okay with you? And she was like, yeah. And turns out he with some bitch. Okay, he got some hoe in the hotel room with him. I'm like, he just be cheating. He don't care about his wife at all. He just cheat all the time. Like, you got a beautiful wife. You got a beautiful baby. Your wife is smart and she can fight. Because I know she be beating your ass time to time. What makes you cheat on her? And like before they hang up, and before they hang up, he's like, "I love you, Queen," and she's like, "I love you, King," and I'm like, ugh, okay, all this lovey-dovey stuff. Oh, before that, he asked about the baby, and she's just like, "Oh, she's asleep because she got the baby out the cold, and she gave the baby to the nanny so she could put the baby down and everything. It's a little girl. She's so pretty and adorable." So Lela and Mark, like Lela meets up with the lady, and the lady's like, I'm just like someone who supplies girls for parties, all-star weekends, album release parties, single release parties, if hotels just want pretty people to sit in the lobby or whatever. And she's like, do I have to have sex? She was like, no. She ends up having sex anyway. She ends up having sex with Marcus. Lela and Marcus have sex, and then he goes to sleep. Don't ever do that. That's how people get caught up. You go to sleep and you don't know if they're gonna rob you, take pictures, or call your wife and be waiting on the wife to get there. She take pictures of like his butt, his thigh, his arm. She's just taking pictures of him, and she start posting them. And he called her and she's like, he asked her, is that me? And she's like, you don't know your own ass? And he was like, you need to take that down because I just got back good with my wife. This could mess up everything. She was like, do you know how many guys I got calling me, asking me to take their stuff down? And he was like, I don't give a damn about them, take it down. She said no and hung up. I was like, So, Vanessa, like, he's in the shower, like, he at home now. So Vanessa go, and she looking at his ass through like the because I think it's a glass shower if I remember correctly. She looking at him, and she's trying to figure out if it's him, but she can't tell. So he get out the shower, and she reminds him, we supposed to go have dinner with Nia because you said you want to catch up with her, and he says, oh. And he was like, well, who's going to watch the baby? She was like, I got a babysitter. He was like, so quick? And she was like, no, it's Nia's assistant. He needed to make some extra money. So he was like, oh, I can't go. I have to hang out with Kareem. And she was like, but you just hung out with him. He was like, no, I hung out with the guys from the team. So she was like, okay. So Vanessa is like skeptical of what's going on. Well, hold up. My eye's super itchy. Okay. So, MJ, who is Nia's assistant, he comes over and he's just like really staring at Marcus's back because this plays into it later. And he's like really, because Marcus is shirtless, so he's looking at his back and everything. So Vanessa goes and she gets in her car and she like calls me and she was like, is it okay if I'm gonna be a little late? Because I think Marcus is back up to his old ish again. And he was like, go handle your business. So she goes to Kareem's hotel room. As she goes in, like as she opens the door and everything, she's attacked by like somebody that's like dark and maybe they got a mask on. I'm not sure, but she fighting back. She whooping ass and like she would have won had the person not hit her in the head. And Kareem knows who it was, and he like goes and confronts the person, and they're like, the dude was like, they want their money, they want their money. And he was like, you didn't need to attack her. He was like, she hit me first. And he's just like, they want their money, they want their money. And Kareem was like, I'm glad she beat your ass. I was like, she beat the brakes off him. Like all the brakes, she beat the brakes off him. So Kareem goes to Marcus and Vanessa's house, and Marcus says, he loves Vanessa. that no one will hurt her, and that's his world. And he asked Kareem what happened, and Kareem was like, it's an old gambling debt. Marcus was like, I thought you didn't do that no more. And he was like, I don't. It's old gambling debt. Marcus says, this means you talking to, you need to fix this because I can't have this around me. And it goes back to, I do my dirt and everything, but I love Vanessa. She my world. I was like, okay. Really? Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention, since Nia is in LA and her boyfriend is wherever he was, he does some type of like freaky cyber, they have some type of freaky overstimulation cyber sex thing. And I was like, if you like it, I'll love it. I ain't got the, it was kind of funny, but it was like so sweet because they still want to be together even if she's here and he's there. So Vanessa is going back to like where Vanessa and Marcus. Vanessa's cooking breakfast, and her and Marcus are talking, and she brings up Golden Goddess LA, which happens to be Lela's social media handle. And he says he don't know her account, he don't know who that is. So she shows him a picture because she like explains what it is, and then she shows the picture of his, like it's his ass, but he was like, that looked like a yellow man with a yellow ass. And she was like, I don't know, it may be you. He was like, how many asses have you seen? She was like, not many. Maybe I need to see some more. I was like, girl, do you? Because he be cheating. He was like, don't play, you might. And they have sex, and she scratches up his back. Like, she really scratches up his back, which plays into this later. Just like MJ looking at his back plays into this later. She scratches up his back. So, Golden Goddess, like, she has a little interview or whatever with this gossip blog, TV show or whatever, and then Golden Goddess LA posts a back picture, and it's Marcus's back all scratched up from what Vanessa had did earlier. And Vanessa knows it's his back because as he was walking away from the bed, because he was like, I love you and everything, but I gotta get to practice, I don't want to be late. She was focused on his back. So just like she scratched at that back and she was focused on that back, and MJ was focused on that back, that's how she knows that's her husband. And she sees the picture because her and Nia get massages, and she wants to make it up to Nia for, basically end up having to cancel since she got attacked. So she realizes it's Marcus, and she starts crying a little bit. She's upset, and Nia says she won't follow the story at all. MJ and Nia are out at a bar, and he got the stuff pulled up on his phone, and he was like, man stealing tramp or something like that. And he was like, oh, I got the tea. Because he was looking, again, as I said, he was looking at that back. And he was like, this is Marcus King. And she was like, oh, really? She trying to play dumb, but she can't play dumb. And he was like, how come you didn't tell me? And she was like, that's my friend. I don't want to, write a story about this because I don't want that to, hurt her family or anything. And MJ trying to get his coin, so he finna do something. And, Marcus is with the physical trainer at the gym and everything, and he working out his leg, and then the trainer says, flip over or whatever. And he was like, ooh, was it a long night or early morning? And he was like, what you talking about? And he was like, your back. And this is when he realized his back is scratched up. Then he got his phone, and he see Golden Goddess LA posted a picture of a scratched up back, and he realized, oh, I might be caught. So Vanessa goes on a run with the baby, and she runs into an old classmate. His name is Bryce. And if you watch General Hospital, this is Nathan. Y'all know Nathan died like last year on the show or whatever. So, they're talking and everything, and she's like, since the baby's older, she's gonna go back to law school and finish up since she only had a year left. And he was like, and he tells her, I did undergrad, law school, took the bar, and then got a job as a clerk or whatever. And he's on a board of governors, and he was like, can I get your number? And like they exchange numbers, and then he kisses her on the cheek. He like her. He really do, and she might like him too. So Sean Robinson's character and MJ are in Nia's office. When she get there, they talking about Golden Goddess, how Sean Robinson's character, I'm gonna get her name soon, how she outbid everybody for the Golden Goddess LA story reveal of who the basketball player is. And she wants Nia to do that. Nia was like, I thought we were going to do something different. She was like, yeah, but we need readers first to be able to get into the other stuff you want to do. So Nia was like, it's my friend, I don't want to do that. So she calls Vanessa to give her a heads up that what she about to do. But, Vanessa rushes her off the phone. She was like, I'll call you back. Because the cops have showed up to the house. Do you know why? Because the girl earlier that they were talking about the missing girl and everything at the press conference, and then the cops stopped by, was found dead. And I was like, oh my God, this is a good show. It's got a mix of everything. I think this is going to be a really good show. I hope BET don't mess this up like they be messing up every show. Because they give you one good season and then season 2 is all jacked up. Or they give you a couple of good episodes and then the other episodes are kind of messed up or whatever. Like you can't follow the story. So I hope this show is amazing. Like I really like the first episode. So, if you like this, like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't like, comment, and subscribe. And if you got something to say, if you want to discuss the show, go and comment down below. Follow me on my social medias and everything else. Bye!